to your Daily 5 for Thursday, July 13th, 2023. If you are a long-time listener, then you will be well aware of the fact that I am absolutely among the worst people in the world when it comes to doing any type of promotion or proper marketing for the show. In fact, I have been doing, and I stopped this years ago, but I have been doing something where at the end of the year, I think I did my last 5 at the end of the year was the one where I said, hey, it'd be really nice if people could donate to the show. And I did like a 1 episode thing where I asked for donations. Maybe I did 2. Maybe I did one at the end of the year, one at the beginning. But basically, I never did any type of donation segment. The shill segment is the only reason I even remember to bring up donations to the show at all. So I'm not doing any more of and there was a long gap where I wasn't even doing that. So this is not a 5 asking for donations. It's not. That's at the beginning of every show, and you can choose to or not to. And I've always said, and if you remember any of the donation segment shows that I did long ago, that I don't expect anybody to donate to the show. I'm not going to suddenly put it behind a paywall. This is nothing along the lines of that. But it did occur to me that there is one thing that I can ask people to do, and what's great about it is that it's absolutely free. Because Lando had brought up, in tomorrow's show, you'll hear Lando ask if anybody supports the show, and it reminded me, because I always forget, because it's not a priority for me either. Neither of us has any type of illusions that this show is ever going to be big, or that we're going to make any money off it. So we just forget about it, because it's not the driving force of the show. But when he brought it up, it reminded me that and then some of you, if you've listened for a while, may remember that there was some kind of screw up with Apple and their podcasting setup because they didn't know what they were doing for 2 or 3 years before they finally figured it out. And one of the casualties of that was at one point our show got duplicated somehow. Somehow in Apple's system, we had 2 of the same show. And to fix it, Apple's fix for it ended up wiping out all the reviews that we had, which don't get me wrong, we didn't have 50,000 reviews or anything like that, but we had a good little group of reviews that were mostly positive, that I know they factor into how people find shows somehow. And while I'm certainly not expecting it to take on any big shows like Joe Rogan or anything, it wouldn't be terrible if people might occasionally find our show because the algorithm, I don't know, puts it into the top 1,000 or whatever. And I think a lot of that is driven by, I'm sure there's other factors, but I know a portion of that is driven by reviews. So it occurred to me that I should do a show, and 5, like this exact 5. I was about to say like this. No, it is this. And ask people to write a review. And I don't care where it is. It doesn't have to be on Apple. I don't care what platform, wherever they let you do podcast reviews. And I know there's lots of different avenues. And I really, again, doesn't matter where you do it. I'm not asking you to sign up for some new account just to write a review. It doesn't need to be a novel. I don't expect people to write long, wordy, paragraphs of how much they like the show or anything. And I don't even care if they're necessarily positive. I think even negative ones factor in. We did have one where somebody wrote a review to complain about the fact that we spoiled movies, which I didn't even attempt to refute. It's completely fair criticism. We do spoil movies. So that person was writing an honest review. And I actually had somebody suggest to me a while ago where you should just create fake accounts and write reviews, and that would drive the things up. I'm not doing that. The same way that I'm never going to charge for the main show, and probably any of our shows. I act like, I always have that little carve out for other stuff, but I'm not going to charge for anything. I'm also not going to fake write reviews. I'm just not going to do it. If I'm at a point where I'm fake writing reviews, I might as well just pack the show up because my priorities have become warped. So I'm not doing that. Any reviews that we have, I think we have 2 or 3 right now, those are genuine reviews. I don't pay anybody to write them for me. I don't write them myself. I'm not doing that. So basically, because I know not everybody can donate, even if they want to, sometimes you may not think that the show is worth donating to. I'm perfectly fine with that too. But since it is free to write reviews as far as I know everywhere, that is something that I would ask people to do, is if you enjoy the show, then write a review for it. I don't know that it's going to do anything. It may make no difference on discoverability whatsoever. If nothing else, within the last few years, we have certainly seen the fallibility of algorithms, and I'm not putting that much faith in them, but it would be nice if people, if they actually enjoy the show, could write a review for it, on the off chance it actually makes some kind of difference. So, again, I'm not going to start doing shows where I'm asking for donations. We cover that in the opening show segment, ineptly, but we do it. So I don't need to start doing dedicated shows where I sit here for 5 minutes asking for money. I wouldn't know how to do them properly even if I wanted to, and I don't want to, so I'm not going to. But asking for reviews, since it doesn't cost anything, yeah, I could do that. So if you have time, and you can, we'd appreciate it if you'd write us a review. Later.